Event, να το ξέρετε.
Και Μάκη, σαν να συγκοίτα το Glider μου, ωραίο.
Μπήκες. Πού θα γίνει το event? Το event, περιμένετε να έρθω. Παιδιά, σε πόσα λεπτά το event?
Σε 2 λεπτά και 40 δεύτερα.
Ακούσατε, σε 2 λεπτά και 40 δεύτερα το event.
Ναι, το βλέπω. Εγώ είμαι εδώ πάνω.
Μπες στο παρτιράκιαλ.
Μη φωνάζετε όλοι σας, γιατί κάνω live.
Μπες στο παρτιράκιαλ να το δούμε όλοι.
Εγώ το έχω δει, εγώ είμαι εδώ. Κάνω live, κάντε όλοι άκρη να βλέπουμε θέαμα.
Holy shit, bro.
Τώρα θα πούνε άτομα στο live. Να το, live.
Σε ένα λεπτό. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 λεπτό.
Παιδιά, ένα άτομο στο live είναι.
Έλα, πάμε λίγο.
Ένα άτομο στο live είναι.
Τι θα κερδίσουμε, ρε?
Δεν ξέρω, αλλά πάμε να το δούμε όλο. Μέχρι το τέλος.
Τι είναι, ρε φίλε? Όσοι ανεβάσετε βίντεο, ελάτε εδώ σε τροχό-τροχαλία. Τροχό-τροχαλίδι. Μάνα πάτσα, τώρα.
Λέγεται μου στο
αλλά να είναι το καλό. Για να φάμε το καλό.
Ό,τι καλύτερα, εντάξει.
Χάι.
Έλα, ρε. Πάμε λίγο, ρε.
Δες παραλία, ρε.
Άκρη από μένα, κάνουν το live και πρέπει να βλέπουνε.
Πόσα λεπτά?
59, 58, μετράτε.
Πάμε εδώ, παιδιά, πάμε εδώ, βασικά.
Πάμε λίγο, ρε, σκοτίνωσε.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Να το, παιδιά!
Τι λέει? Όπα.
Να το! Σου!
Έτσι! Μπράβο, πάμε!
Τι έγινε? Γιατί μαύρισε?
Τι μαύρισε?
Hey everybody, I'm Carrie Champion. Welcome to We the People.
Καταλαβαίνει κανείς τι λέει. Κοίτα εδώ, δεν σαν μας μιλάει, ρε. Είναι μπίστρια.
Use your voice to vote. Voting is your voice.
Μπάνι.
We have so many different
Αυτή η μαύρη, ο μαύρος.
Μη μιλάτε. Θέλω να ακούνε και αυτοί που είναι στο live.
Παιδιά, να βάλω τραγούδια.
Όχι, στο live, όχι, μην.
WeAllVote.org and fair fight. Those resources are imperative as we try to change our country.
Εγώ πάνω το δω ψηλά. Κι εγώ.
Σαν τραγούδι δεν
Αλλά πρέπει
είναι.
να κάνουμε το live.
There's no way that we can talk about it.
Πάμε δίνω.
The fact that we want to talk about it.
Αυτός που έχει κάτσει εκεί πάνω. Ελάτε εδώ, γιατί με δίνω.
Texas, we are talking about Bum Jones, who is an activist, a scholar, and an all-around gentleman. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Bun, I don't want to start heavy, but I guess I have to.
Ρε, κοιτάξτε λίγο που είμαι. Θανάση, κοίτα που είμαι.
And when you think about what needs to
Μη
happen in this
βλέπεις.
country in terms of
Κάτσε
change,
εδώ.
what's the first thing that you think of?
Equality.
Εγώ πάω πάνω για να βλέπω.
Right? Black people
Oh,
need
the
to be
sun.
seen as equals in this world. You know, we at the
Oh,
fact that
was
in this country and not 3/5.
Everyone's now seeing what we've known for so long in the culture and in the community. The one
Δεν
way
πρέπει
that
να πάμε πάνω πάνω. Εγώ θα κάτσω εδώ με
what voting means to you.
I hear people all the time talking about when
Θανάση βλέπεις.
and that voting doesn't make a difference.
Ναι.
If that's true, why do they work so hard to suppress the black vote? Because we
Ρε, κάνεις live.
Ναι, εγώ κάνω.
Κάτσε Θανάση, περίμενε. Κι εγώ. Πού είναι το tablet, να παρακολουθείς το live.
Ησυχία, παιδιά.
People need to be very much involved in their local politics.
Πόση ώρα θα είναι αυτό?
Their elected officials where they're saying issues that affect you.
Κάνα μισάωρο πιθανό να κρατήσει.
Care about you and your condition, or
Και θα μας δώσει κάτι.
a newer initiative that we're dealing with.
Μάλλον ναι.
Educating felons, right? So in the state of Texas.
Ωραία, μην μιλάτε πολύ, εγώ έχω το live.
You've been to jail or to prison.
Ναι, και Θανάση, σε κάναμε μια ώρα να μας μιλάνε μαύροι.
Another thing that was just brought to my attention is an initiative called.
Θανάση, έφερα το tablet μόνο για σένα, γιατί να δω το tablet, να δω το live.
During pre-trial, but you have.
Δεν το έχω ανεβάσει ακόμα, ρε, μετά. Δεν ανέβασε και τώρα. Να κάνει live. Ανέβασε και τώρα. Μα άμα το ανεβάσει τώρα θα τελειώσει το βίντεο.
To hope that we stay uninformed, but more importantly, to suppress the black vote. If you could do one thing with this message that we're trying to send today about how important voting is, what type of images would you like for people to understand and see when they go to these polls?
Season 2 player είναι αυτός που κάθεται μαζί μας. Α, το ξέρω, ναι, Season 2. Δεν βλέπουμε αυτόν τον χαζό που έκατσε εδώ πάνω. Περιμένετε λίγο. Γράφω κάτω. Α, σήκω όποιο, θα βλέπεις καλύτερα. Δεν μπορώ.
Μισό λεπτό, πάω για νερό και έρχομαι.
Μην μιλάτε στο live. Μην μιλάτε για λίγο.
Ναι, έχω βάλει τραγούδι εδώ μεταξύ. Θανάση, άκουσα, το βγάλεις τραγούδι. Ακούεις, λέρε το αγαπημένο μου τραγούδι. Το τσάλα αγαπημένο. Είναι το Portland. Εγώ έχω άλλο. Αυτό δεν μ' αρέσει πλέον. Ποιος έχει 390.
Who do believe that black lives matter, who do believe in racial equality,
economic
equality, judicial
ωραία, μ' αρέσει αυτό.
who see us as human beings. And
Για δυνάμωσε.
Ωραία, φίλε.
vote them out.
Περίμενε.
Just vote them out.
Το θα βάλει κι εγώ.
Sit around and
Βάλε.
let people change their minds.
Yeah, Bumpy, you point out
Okay.
so important. We have the power, and that is in our vote, and that is with our voice, and that's how we use our voice. I
Τι
think
μουστάκια έχουν, ρε, ευχαριστώ.
Όχι, που είχα να πάρω τηλέφωνο, ρε.
just a moment. It is a
Το
moment.
φάγια.
Why, in your opinion, was it
Εγώ έχω βάλει τραγούδι, δεν ξέρω να κοιτάζει για το live.
I think it's twofold there. There's so many different encounters between people.
Shit like Godzilla. Better hit the deck like the
So what happens is it tends to lead to
Θανάση.
a policeman's point of view. Right? In this case, we saw very clearly.
Θανάση, πώς λέγεται αυτό το τραγούδι που έχεις βάλει?
During this time period in relation to the coronavirus.
Θανάση, το τραγούδι πώς λέγεται αυτό που έχεις βάλει? Τι?
Every social media platform, everywhere you turn, we're constantly hit upside the head with this message.
Ρε, σταματήστε με τα τραγούδια να ακούσουμε κάτι.
What happened?
Right. Like so well said, because
Που
if
δεν
you think
ξέρουμε
about
ότι
it,
άλλοι, ρε
in
φίλε.
the grand scheme of things, it wasn't worth it, and he didn't have to lose his life. I think
Αυτό ακούς, Θανάση, που έβαλα κι εγώ τώρα.
talk about, and that is now defunding the police. That has been such a huge conversation, but there's so many misconceptions around.
Βάλτε κι εσύ, Θανάση, βάλτε κι εσύ.
If you will, educate the audience.
All right, so most people when they
Βάλτε κι
defund
εσύ.
the police, they tend to think,
Βάλτε.
oh, they're going to take away our police
Guys,
department.
θέλουν να
Defunding the police means that in certain communities, even in Houston, take for example, we had over $1 billion allocated to our police force. Now, what is that money being used for? Some of that money tends to be allocated towards riot shields, right? Pepper spray, right? That kind of thing. That's fund this budget, right? So why would the people want to supply the police with the means to oppress them? If the police are concerned about the situation in certain communities with a higher crime rate, well, higher crime rates tend to happen in communities where there's not employment opportunities, right? There's not a lot of social services, and people are going to do what they need to do to take care of themselves and their families. When the community has more opportunities for employment, more opportunities for upward mobility, then they tend to be less of a strain on the government. They tend to have a lower crime rate, and because of that, we'll have less need for the police in those communities.
You are passionate about so many different things in terms of making sure that we are holding our leaders accountable. Talk to me about some of the other projects that you're working on.
Well, right now, obviously, being a part of More Than a Vote is essential. We're dealing with primaries in this country right now, and we just want to educate people. We want to inform people because people are tired, they're angry, they're concerned, and they want information and they want action. And so we want to make sure that we give them the right information and lead them in the right direction. And we thank the people that do not look like us for standing with us right now, because it's very important that people who aren't black be involved, because if black people could have gotten rid of racism,
είναι τέλειο θα
Ivan. And so I'm trying to use my voice to let people know that if they feel like I do, there's a number of places they can go.
Δεν είναι πιο ωραίο από το Travis Scott event, αλλά εντάξει. Το Travis Scott είναι το καλύτερο event σε όλη την γη.
Those are not the places that they feel the money of their community needs to be allocated.
And Bubby, even a step further, they can run for office in their local community. They can run for positions. Like, people act like they leave it up to somebody else. If you're upset, it's not hard to get on the school board. It's not hard to be a part of the city council. It really isn't. And depending on how small your town is, you could be a mayor. The power is with the people, and we need to just know that that's happening.
Absolutely. And it's always been with the people. You know, if you look at Trayvon Martin's mother, Sabrina Fulton, right? She felt that there was a system of racism and a system of oppression that led to her son's death. And so what did she do? She ran for city council and she was elected city council. Barack Obama, right, started in the community as an activist.
Αν μας δώσει κάτι στο τέλος θα είναι ωραίο. Αν δεν μας δώσει τίποτα, το χειρότερο event.
That you can't make a difference. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of power. Your voice is enough to make a difference.
Amen. I feel like I need to go out and learn from you. Sir. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this. When I talk to my brothers, I have to ask you, as a black man, how are you doing? Are you okay?
I'm good. I have a very strong relationship with God, so prayer definitely works for me. I have children and grandchildren who are watching me, who are encouraged by what I do, and they're proud of me right now, you know, and that's really what matters, you know.
Αν σου δώσει κανένα χορό ή κανένα σκηνή θα είναι τέλειο.
That believes in what you're doing and supports you in what you're doing, you have everything you need to go out there and fight the good fight. And for those that don't, there's a community of people here to help you. So you can go to places like morethanavote.org. There are many different places that will encourage you, inform you, and they will put you with groups of people that feel like you, that are ready to take action. So no one has to go about this alone if they want to do it.
Yeah, we're stronger together. People have been saying it, but that has much more meaning now that we are in our movement, not just this moment. Bumby, it has been an education, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Keep fighting the good fight.
Keep up the good fight.
Τώρα τραγουδάκι.
Yeah.
Θα έχει καθόλου τραγούδι σε αυτό το event? Καθόλου τραγούδι θα έχει?
So imperative that we speak with her. You know her as Molly on the huge successful show Insecure. Insecure. She also has a comedy special highlighting her Nigerian roots, and she's an amazing podcaster. Let's welcome in Yvonne Orji, everyone. You have such a beautiful way of making things funny, giving us our medicine with some candy, right? The humor and the healing. You bring all of that to your space. And right now, as you look across this country and how everyone is so broken and so upset, if it's not social injustice, it's the pandemic, it's depression, it's unemployment, the list goes on and on. How are you doing, quite frankly?
You know, I'm rediscovering self in a way that is hard, but necessary, that will lead to ultimate joy. I know it sounds like a lot, but no, I think I personally think that God put all of us on a global timeout. Like we just, America hasn't done as good as other people when it comes to timeouts, because everyone else is out playing at recess, and we're still in the principal's office. Hoping we can come out. But I think that if we settle into the timeout and really learn the lesson that we're supposed to learn from this season, I think we'll emerge better. We'll learn how to play well with others in more ways than one. And so personally for me, I'm taking this time to learn me in a new way. I feel like I'm being ushered into a new season, and I'm getting still. Because sometimes the busy...
Ένας drift που έμπαινα συνέχεια μπροστά του, λίβαρε.
That we're supposed to actually be doing. We're busy doing other stuff, but we got work that we need to do on the inside. And I'm leaning into it. I'm like, dang, I thought I was going to be able to rest like everybody else. And God's like, nah, we got work to do.
You know what? And I think that's what everybody is saying about
Πόσο ώρα, ρε.
that we be better. And you said
αν δεν μας δώσει κάτι στο τέλος, είναι το χειρότερο event σε όλη την γη. Πάω να βρω κάτι να κάνω μέχρι να τελειώσει.
Within ourselves, within our nation. I think America is going through an unraveling right now, a much needed, a much necessary one. And I think all eyes on us, right? There is no, I was on the subway for an hour, so I didn't miss that thing that happened. No, everybody was home. Everybody, was watching when George Floyd died. And everybody, everyone was watching when this is a time where it's like, we can't pretend it away. We can't excuse it away. No. It's a global timeout. Sit down, watch, and let's learn. And globally, it's like, hey, we were going business as usual, but it ain't usual no more. Like that's old. Anytime change occurs, it's very uncomfortable. And so right now we're sitting with we're getting comfortable with the uncomfortable.
The minorities, we've been comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that to me explains just the existence for whatever we want to do, how we break into our careers, how we live our lives, how we find ourselves one of the few or one of the first. And that's a lonely world. When you look at, and when you talk about this global timeout,
πάμε λίγο σκοντάκι.
Pay attention to George Floyd. How is that helping us as a people?
I think
there's not πάμε squad.
Carrie, you already know it. It's like these labels.
Τραβάς ακόμα live,
Ναι, μέχρι που να τελειώσει.
Also, there's no white on white balance.
Τραβάς ακόμα live, ναι ή όχι,
Εγώ όχι.
Why do you say white people every single day? So no, there is no black on
Εγώ
white
τραβάω
balance.
ακόμα.
And if you say black on white balance, well then let's...
Παιδιά, το χειρότερο live σε όλη την γη του κόσμου.
Βάλτε όλοι dislike, βάλτε όλοι dislike.
Βάλτε όλοι dislike σε μένα.
Dislike.
Πλάκα, βάλτε όλοι like. Και να μην σας αρέσει το event, βάλτε like.
Παιδιά, είναι το χειρότερο να ξέρετε να βάζετε like.
Δεν το πιστεύω. Το live είναι το χειρότερο live όλων των εποχών.
Αυτό εδώ πέρα.
Τι γίνεται live! Έλα, Τζόρτζι! Είναι πιο ωραίο έτσι πέρα, πάμε! Όντως. Χορεύουμε ένα χορεύει Travis Scott. Τον καινούργιο. Παιδιά, ελάτε, σας δίνω πιο ωραίο live.
Όχι, ας κάτσουμε να το δούμε. Μήπως και μας δώσει τίποτα.
Πρέπει να το δείτε όλο λογικά για να πάρεις τίποτα. Πρέπει να το δεις όλο για να πάρεις τίποτα.
Έλα, Τζόρτζι, είναι τέλειο. Έχει τραγούδι. Ρε φίλε. Μην τους αρέσεις, αν ήταν κάτι χαλούς που μιλάγαμε. Ω, κοίτα, δείχνει το map.
amputate the leg, but that's just
Ναι, δείχνει το μάτι.
Σαν τον Travis Scott το τραγούδι.
And to that end, I have to ask you this, because the way
Ακούγεται
that we
όμως.
use our voice, and our voice
Δεν ξέρω.
in this country is our vote.
Λες το πάρω, εγώ το βάζω τέρμα.
Everyone talks about voting and how important it is.
Για να κάνω το mute στα settings στο music.
It's about your local,
Τι να κάνω?
about the mayor. It is about
Τίποτα, εγώ θα το κάνω. Music
to bring charges against police if police brutality is an issue in your
100.
community. You care about your school district.
Θέλεις να μην σου ακούγεται μουσική στο λόμπι.
Are from Nigeria. You are
τι?
Nigerian. You talk about that very loudly.
Θέλεις να μην σου ακούγεται μουσική στο λόμπι.
You know, I think
Nah.
voting is power. I remember, you know, I became
Πήγαινε στα settings.
back in the 90s
Kurmala.
because I was a reminder of my mom
Ναι, έτσι να κάνω.
under her. And just
Settings, ναι, και μετά.
we are citizens and all the access we have by being citizens
Και μετά τι κάνω?
and those access powers in voting.
Και μετά τι κάνω?
It's a big deal because
Ναι, πήγαινε settings.
we have the opportunity
Ναι.
to be in this country, but now we can be of.
Ναι, πήγαινε.
We can be of.
Όχι εγώ. Πήγαινε στο...
But I think going back to your earlier comment about just the setup of
Ναι, στο μικροφωνάκι.
systems, I think we are done a disservice either in schools or
Ναι, έχω
whatever it is.
πατήσει.
I'm not putting teachers on blast. I think teachers do a phenomenal job, but for some reason,
Ποιον έχω?
we do not.
παιδιά,
and
όσοι
people
είσαστε
vote
στο
rate.
live, τι
I know too many
ψηφίζετε?
parents who are like, I'm
Να πάμε κανένα
Ένα
στο
μικροφωνάκι.
love them, but hey, who
Ναι, και μετά.
Ναι, παίζει. Πόσα άτομα βλέπουν το live?
I do think that there is a disservice.
Εμένα έχει λαγκάρ, δεν ξέρω πόσο.
Και μετά τι κάνω?
Πόσα άτομα βλέπουν το live?
Like,
Δεν ξέρω εγώ. Δεν μπορώ να δω.
can vote.
Καλά, αυτό δεν μπορεί να το
How
κάνω.
much
δεν ξέρω.
libraries get. It's like small things like that.
Θανάση, πού είσαι?
When you think of voter suppression, in
Δεν
this
το
country,
πιστεύω ότι βλέπουμε αυτή την πλακία που...
When we talk about voter suppression,
Λοιπόν, παιδιά, θα κλείσω το live. Να ξέρετε ότι η ώρα είναι όσοι βλέπουν γρήγορα το live. Να μπουν τώρα στο Party Royale, είναι 4 και 18. Ωραία, μπορεί να τελειώσει λογικά στις 5. Μπορεί να κάνω το live πιο μετά. Γι' αυτό έχουμε να σας πούμε γεια σας. Και να κάνετε εγγραφή τα γνωστά. Και like. Και θέλουμε να σας αποχαιρετήσουμε, σωστά? Άλεξ, συμφωνείς? Άλεξ,
Ναι,
πρέπει να κλείσουμε το live.
οκ.
Παιδιά, γεια σας. Να ξέρετε ότι η ώρα σας είπα πριν. Κάντε like, εγγραφή και θα τα πούμε. Γεια σας.